This is Between Hook Sets. I'm Jason Walter from In Through the Outdoors with my partner in slime, Kurt Underhill from the Fishing Crew.
What is up, dude?
Well, I thought that last minute before we started the show was the longest minute, just like it is in radio. If you're waiting for 60 seconds, it's like you're waiting for 10 minutes. But after I hit the first go live, you hit the second go live, and then you got to hit the go live. And it's the weirdest thing. And that waiting for the opportunity to really go live just takes forever. But and maybe people don't need to realize that, but it is a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it makes it really interesting, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. Speaking of interesting, I want to get to this before we get into the guests tonight. Have you heard anything about the National Walleye Tour, a blow day, anything about crappy weather? I looked at the forecast. It doesn't look that bad, but.
So I was watching some videos before the show. It sounds like they have 132 teams on Lake Erie, and they talked about they built the blow day in. So if it blows tomorrow, they fish Friday, Saturday.
Oh.
So it sounds like, I talked to guys earlier in the week, it sounds like they're all planning for a pretty crappy day. Shakirik said mud was every direction because the wind is literally blown out of every direction. And the other thing I heard on the videos was, sounds like their fish are quite a ways away from Monroe. So be big runs to get to fish, and in rough weather it could be interesting. And I don't know if we'll have anybody tuning in from out that direction tonight, but if you are, chime in and tell us what's going on out on the old Lake Erie. But we're going to talk about Cedar Shore, man. Cedar Shore kicks off on Saturday morning, and I pretty pumped. I always love the first event of the year. Still a little bit of time to get in. We're going to keep registration open until tomorrow night, so get in. We're going to talk to Maddie and Ryan tonight, and they were, I think they got second or third last year. I cannot quite remember. Third? You looked it up, third place. They end up winning our team of the year.
I looked it up. No, I remembered that, Kurt.
You remember that? Oh, shit. So they got team of the year last year. I figured they've been down there practicing a little bit. We'll bring them in and see how practice and stuff from Francis Case is going. What's up, boys?
Hello.
Are you there?
They can't hear us now.
I can't hear nothing. I can't either.
Yeah, they must. So I wonder how that got quiet. Are you there now?
We got you. You got us.
That speaker. Is there a line through that speaker there?
Yeah, I don't know. We were talking to him when you took him out. Everything was just fine.
I'm not
Hello. Can you
hear us now?
Yeah, I don't. Well, let's see here. Let me go. What do we got here? Edit mic settings.
We got nothing, boys.
You got nothing, Kent.
How about now?
Hello.
Nothing.
I'll text Ryan quick.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I can run through. Well, here let's do this while they're fiddle farting around.
No.
Tomorrow it's supposed to be mostly cloudy and windy. 66 degrees on Lake Erie. They are talking some showers in the afternoon.
How about now?
Like southwest.
Can you hear us?
No, they can't hear us. Southwest wind 16 to 30. So a little bit on the breezy side. Some gusts. Could be higher than 30. And then if we look at the next day, which I guess it's Friday, cooler with rain, and it looks like an 80% chance of rain, 54 the high. So cold front coming through, northwest wind 12, gust to 15 or 20. So
how about
Can you hear us now?
Can you hear
How
me
about now?
We could hear you the whole
We
time.
hear you, yeah.
Oh, well, yeah,
Okay.
we couldn't hear you for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there because we were connected, but all right, well, we'll start all over again. Now we got to go back and start. Never mind.
Redo.
Boys, you've been down in the old Chamberlain area for a couple days. Tell us about how practice is going, what we're looking like for the upcoming event.
I mean, today was actually our first day of practice, and it was miserable. I don't know if you'd really call it practice. Wind was blowing about 112.
So what was the temperature?
It ended up being pretty warm out. I mean, as far as
50,
their
55, 60, I suppose. I think we got to like 56 in Mobridge, so you probably had 65 or better then.
Yeah, the pickup showed 63 when we got off.
Okay. All right. And then you had the 50-mile-an-hour winds, I suppose.
Yep. Yeah, it wasn't all that much fun.
But you know, Ryan, you've been down there a few weekends prior, and what's the lake setting up like? What do you think in fish quality is going to be? I mean, we had 30 some pounds to win it last year. You think we're going to be on that nose? Where do you think this is going to fish like?
Well, the wild cards is stupid, crazy weather that we've had. The fish the fish are up and down. They're spawning. They're not spawning. But I mean, the quality of fish is here for sure. I mean, it's going to take minimum of what we had last year, probably another pound on top of. It's going to be my guess. I'm guessing to win it, it's going to take 16 pounds a day.
Okay, so that 32-pound range to win it. So what are we seeing? You know, last year we talked about seeing a lot of 19-inch fish. Are we finding big overs, or are they just kind of a tight over range? Like, I mean, are we looking at 20s, or are we finding some big ones?
I mean, there's some 19 to 22s for sure. I mean, it just, there was a lot of 19 and a quarters last year, and now they're 20 and a quarter, 20 and a half. So
you're going to have to make a decision.
Yeah, it's going to, I mean, you're going to have to be pretty confident in your bite to throw back a fat pre-spawn 22-incher. So
the overs are still lacking a little bit, but the slots are going to be healthy. You know, I talked to a guy earlier today. He was a little concerned about his bump board because of the 19s, right at 19, 20-inch fish. So he's already asked me when he can check his bump board and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's going to be a game. I mean, Chamberlain's kind of always that game. You do have them, you know, I wouldn't say they're as unicorny as Lake Sharp, right? The big overs, but they're not a Lake Oahe.
No, and some team is going to get a big over, but to do it 2 days in a row is probably going to be pretty tough.
Yeah.
At least the weather for the most part will be rather consistent for the 2 days. I mean, we're in the 60s, right? Nudging 70 maybe on Sunday. So weather may be okay.
Didn't it?
Yeah, like
Is that what they said?
Yeah, almost 80 on Sunday.
Okay.
Well,
the one thing
pack your shorts and your cold snap gear.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That cold snap gear, by the way, is incredible.
It's
amazing. I got the snap from Ryan. I saw you were rocking the cold snap today.
We both were.
Yeah, I mean, you can't feel anything through there.
It's like a bulletproof vest for weather.
Yeah, I mean, you guys won your cold snap for being team of the year last year. Looking, got on Dan. We're going to do that again for our team of the year. Another set of cold snap gear. So maybe you guys will have double sets, or we'll have to get you some of the other stuff that they offer. But you know, it's an all in one suit, right? I mean, you can wear the liners and you can take the liners out, and it's really nice gear. I've never been wet in it. That was my biggest thing. I don't want to get wet. I've wore a lot of gear and I've been wet in it.
Yeah, it's almost too warm.
Yeah, you're not going to get cold either.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
It's bulletproof vest for sure.
Yeah,
it's amazing stuff.
The first time I ever put it on, it was in the Ram coat, and I had it on for about 4 seconds. And I'm like, get this off of me. I think my skin's melting. And granted, I was indoors, and I'm like, this stuff is insane. Well, then Jason Vetter were out ice fishing. They had bought a set, and I didn't get mine yet. And I sent a picture of Dan. He goes, how do you like the gear? I said, other than he can't come inside and it's 10 degrees and the wind's blowing 30 and he can't go in the shack because he's going to die. And he goes, well, no shit. He's wearing a hoodie. Don't wear a hoodie underneath that stuff. You just wear a t-shirt and the jacket, and you're going to be fine till you get sub-zero. And he's not kidding.
No, it's amazing stuff. Quality all the way through.
Yeah. So obviously gear's what kind of presentations do you guys think are going to play into this coming weekend without giving too much away on your 1 day of practice?
I mean,
you name it.
It's going to happen. We're going to use everything from jigging to, I mean, probably even maybe a bottom bouncer. You never know. So yeah, everything in between for sure.
Are you seeing bait balls? What's the lake look like down there? Are you seeing plenty of bait fish? Not a lot of bait.
I guess I didn't notice a lot of bait today, but
okay.
I mean, there was a few little balls of shad, maybe probably that I noticed, but But other than that, yeah, there's not a overabundance. It didn't look like to me, but
Or at least wasn't in the stretch of river where we were at.
yeah.
Maybe that's why we didn't
Live
catch
scope.
any fish.
Felix says live scope will play.
Oh yeah, I mean it. 100% it'll play.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, we're all figuring out how to use it in trolling and bottom bouncing, and I mean, yeah, yeah. I mean, you just don't have. I mean, it's going to play for sure.
Yeah,
It's a multi-purpose tool. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it really, seriously, when you say bottom bouncing, the things that I've done with my Garmin pulling bouncers is freaking amazing.
Yeah, I mean, there's way more to use it than just seeing one and pitching to them. So,
Yeah. I mean, it's another arrow in your quiver, right? I mean, and it's a very that's not your broadhead you're practicing in your yard with. That's what you pull out for the kill shot, But
Yep.
it like I said, Chamberlain's an interesting body of water. Do you think south is going to play or north? I mean, obviously you've had one day of practice. Like I said, don't want to give too much away. Everybody's like, which way are they going to go? And I'm like, well, you always have the guys that run south. Last year, you guys ran north, and that was kind of your game plan last year.
Yep.
Are you seeing fish spread out through the system?
I mean, I think that, I mean, they're just not, the pool's fairly low. So it wouldn't surprise me if south comes into play a little more than like it has in the last couple of years.
What's the water
Yes.
temperature in the main lake then?
the highest I seen was like 43.4.
Okay.
So
Well,
it's
it has
still
been cold, snowing.
cold down there.
Yeah, yeah.
So-
And
I mean-
as you go south, you're going to run into way more, post spawners as you will further north. That's another thing you got to think about.
Are you finding milking males, and are they
Yep.
on the verge of going, or
I
maybe
think they're going pretty sure. Some of them are.
okay? Yeah, so I mean that all plays a factor in your game plan going out there, right? Like I said, if they're skinnier south, then you got to stay north. So you play that game of which way to go, and it's a game of ounces down there, right? I mean, it really truly is. It's not like Lake Oahe where you go ding an 11-pounder and you got a pretty good day on your hands,
Yeah.
So you're trying to get your best 5 fish at 19 inches. I mean, is better than having one 11-pounder and good luck finding the rest type of deal,
Well, and if you had all pre-spawn 19 inchers and next guy had all post-spawn, you're going to be 3 pounds heavier than he is, or 2.5 for sure.
What do you find in the 19s weighing down there?
I mean, we didn't even weigh any today besides the one. And I mean,
You gotta
they're
be a
good.
solid
I mean,
three.
pre-spawn 19 inches is going to weigh 3 to a little over, probably 19.5.
Mhm.
2.8 to 3.1.
Pitlick wants to know, does fishing pressure play into your strategy?
Absolutely, it does.
Yes, it does.
I mean, we all
Absolutely.
have community holes, right? And you get Saturday, Sunday on a fairly decent weekend. Kiowa or Kiners is going to probably be pretty busy.
Yep. Yeah, that definitely, I mean, the guys definitely got to think about that, and that really, I mean, it seems like they're finicky. They're spooky as heck right
Yeah,
now.
they were spooky today for sure.
Yeah, they were spooky.
So are you seeing that gin clear water from the zebra mussels down there? Because I mean, that's been a thing. And I was talking to somebody about something we'll bring up a little bit later here, but talking about how the fish have changed down there because of the zebra mussels. And he was saying crow's still puking mud, the white's still puking mud. So it's not as gin clear as, you would think the zebra mussels would play, but
you had to fish around some dirty water for sure.
Yeah.
Today. Yeah. There's plenty of mud.
Yeah, there's plenty of dirty water.
Yeah.
So a little bit of snow rain we got last week really has got the creeks running and stuff like that down there for.
I mean, I don't know if it's that. I think it's more of a wind.
It was more wind driven today,
Gotcha.
but
Yeah.
there wasn't.
Big day to win.
I never really say that we got into a spot today that was you could see the bottom and 8 foot of water. It was all nice green, good looking water, pretty much.
So a couple years ago, going back, like crankbaiting was really hard down there because all the moss. Is that still Are you seeing a lot of that? Because that was, the moss.
There was plenty of the cranking we did do today. Yes. I mean, if you touch the bottom, it was mossy that I noticed.
Gotcha. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting event. Obviously you guys are favored in this, you guys are favored yourself, but out of the, the locals that we know fish this thing, who are we worried about?
I mean,
PJ and Donnie.
yeah, Donnie and PJ.
On the other side of the camera, aren't they?
Yeah, they're behind, mooning us. And
Yeah, it's a lot different when you have a crowd in the room and you're on a live podcast than what you see. So, well, guys, I mean, we don't want to take too much of your time. I'm sure, knowing Ryan, you got to probably get a welder out to fix the boat, or JB Weld.
No, that's why you have Clearview boat rigging. Build your boat, or rig your boat. He makes it Thompson proof.
Yep.
Yeah, if you get the Thompson proof.
Yeah, it's not quite like, I'm just like a step under McCumsey proof. But
Well, McCumsey's on Lake Erie right now, and it's been wrong with a brand new boat that was rigged by him. We'll see what his work's like when he's.
yeah, no kid.
I mean, Mac will be lucky to come back with a windshield on the boat, so then that's not a clear view D there.
That's my guess.
Oh, shit.
So,
Nope, we buy them to use them.
That's good. That's good. Well,
guys, thanks for jumping on tonight, giving us a little
You bet.
update.
appreciate it.
Go rig up and get shit ready to go. We'll see you guys Friday at the rules meeting, 6:00, and we can't wait to kick off the season.
We're looking forward to it. It's going to be a fun one for sure.
Sounds good.
All right, good luck,
All right.
guys.
Hey, take
All
care.
right,
Thank
thanks,
you.
guys.
Appreciate it.
Well, that was a little fun update from Chamberlain, but yeah. I mean, so Chamberlain, National Walleye Trail Chamberlain this weekend, we got a lot of stuff going on. But one thing I want to touch base on is, what is it? Petition 252. It's going to go.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay, let's talk about that. Have you learned it a little better?
I've got a little bit of details I'm trying to pull up right now. So there's a petition that's been put in place for Chamberlain. Like that killed 17 minutes. Somebody put a petition in, so people that understand this, like anybody can petition. Game Fish and Parks can, they can put a petition in. It doesn't mean it's law. It's got to go through a bunch of processes. So it's got to, you put the petition in, you got 17 or 30, they read it. They no public testimony tomorrow. They're going to read it probably around 1:30. It's pretty low on the agenda. They'll read the petition, and then it goes 30 days for public comment. And then it goes back in front of the commission with public comment. And it sounds like there's going to be a presentation by Game Fish and Parks. But what petition 252 is to change the limit from 4 to 2 walleyes from January, February, and March, or a complete closure from January 1 to April 1st on Lake Francis Case from Fort Thompson to the Platte Winter Bridge.
Okay. Yeah, whatever.
Pretty interesting. I've gotten a few calls about it. So tomorrow, like I said, it gets read in front of Game Fish and Parks. Game Fish and Parks will have their chance to support, oppose, whatever. If they don't support it and the commission doesn't take it to the next level, then it's kind of dead. But if it goes to the next level for public comment, you can reach out in Game Fish and Parks page to comment about any proposal that goes through. Personal opinion, it's pointless, right? It's completely pointless in my mind. It doesn't, I guess it all kind of stems from, people seeing all the fishing pressure in Chamberlain that early in the year. Obviously, it's not hurting the spawn. It's not hurting the fishery because you got 19-inch fish, you got 17-inch fish, and they didn't grow in 1 year. So they didn't catch them all out from January to April. Nobody caught all those fish out. So you can't tell me that these fish magically show up next year at 17, 18, even 15 inches, right? Was it 3 years to get to 15? So we're not catching these fish out, right? So let's, I don't think it's needed. Are the boat ramps packed? Is there a lot of pressure down there? 100%. Do we see a lot of, out of staters coming in? Absolutely. I can promise you the community of Chamberlain thrives on that. They love it. Now the residents, maybe not so much. The locals, the local fishermen have to deal with boat ramp pressure. It's not fun. I get it. But I think I don't think it's a necessary. I always go back on the thought of, what does science tell us? And science tells us year after year, over and over and over again, closing a season for spawn does nothing for the fishery. It's a social law, and I do not like governing on social laws. Yeah, Dan says they'll never fly. State will lose too much revenue. 100%. I agree with you, Dan. But yeah, I don't think it should be. But one interesting thing I did find out, and I didn't know this, that not a single boat ramp in Chamberlain do you need a park pass sticker to use.
Oh, I did not know that
either. So
what the hell?
American Creek, the American Creek Campground, Cedar Shores, Dude Ranch, none of them you need a park pass to use.
That's interesting. Are they GF&P docks?
So they're Corps of Engineers sites, but I'm pretty sure, I haven't done enough research into it, but they're probably, I'm guessing GF&P manages them, no different than every other ramp on the body of water on the Missouri River system, right? They're core initial ramps, but then the GF&P manages them, So let's put park passes on them. Let's put on something. Let's gain some revenue if you're upset. Uncle Lou says that's good. I mean, I get it. It keeps your costs down for non-residents to come, but at the same time, like, I don't have a problem buying a park pass sticker.
No, I don't either. That's $10,000. I realize $10,000 doesn't go far, but it's $10,000.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, if you're going by the 252 cars that are at the ramp or pickups that are at the ramp.
Yeah, 100%. So if you can kind of get that money brought in, you can redo boat ramps, you can do parking lots, you can better the fish cleaning stations, whatever you need to do, right? And maybe it's something you funnel that money down there for all three of those things, right? Or whatever project you work with game fishing parks to do. I'm not against a park pass to get into them. I'm not.
I wouldn't be either, because everywhere we fish, we have to have a park pass.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, very, very rarely, very few. Up here in Mobridge, I can't go anywhere and put a boat in without a park pass.
Yeah, I buy 4 to 6 of them a year, right? I buy
Whitlock. You're down there, Whitlock, Bob's. I don't care. You got to have a park pass. So that's really a good find. I'm surprised by that. The other thing that comes to mind too, when you talk about the state losing money if they shut off the season or it goes from 4 down to 2 and pisses people off and they don't come up anymore. But I don't think the lake gains by dropping the limit to 2 or shutting it down. I mean, what does the lake, what do the fish in the lake actually gain?
Yeah,
maybe a little better, a little hotter bite in April then, when it opens, because you have a few months of fish that haven't been caught, so you have more numbers, but here again, you're talking about a bunch of post-spawn walleye. You're talking about, they're just not, I mean, it depends on when you open the season. After the spawn, they take that week or 2 off for whatever. And, now I'm hearing they've got a sore mouth or some, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
I always just thought it was, because they were tired. It's a lot of work. They just go out and relax, whatever it happens to be. It happens to be. But yeah, I am learning to just not have an opinion on stuff, because logic doesn't really seem to fit into the biology of a lake, so to speak. I mean, I'm not following it.
I agree. So we have a couple comments here I want to get to. So Skippy says, why is Chamberlain's guides up here so much during the summer? Nothing against them, but what goes down goes on down there during the summer. I think it's the fish are obviously just no different than any other body of water. They transition to depths. They them fish get harder to catch for everybody. But you look at go down to Pigstown, Francis Case, or that southern area where the NWT did and the NTC did. It's crazy, right? It's absolutely crazy the amount of fish that are down there. I don't know why they don't transition down there other than it's, guides is easy bite, right? I'm not picking on any guides, but you get your fish in your boat the easiest way you can. It's not easy to take 3 guys in your boat scoping the trees.
Mm-hmm.
That's my only theory. That mine, Skippy, like, I don't know. I guess I don't know. But, what I think, to me, I think it's just the ability to catch fish easier.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Really, that I think so. That's what it comes down to.
Right. So Uncle Lou has a comment here: 105 for non-resident license, 60 for a park pass is getting out of hand. Eventually, it'll drive people away and make the resident people happy. I agree. I didn't know, like, last year they upped the price for the park pass for non-residents to $60 from the standard. I don't agree with that. I don't. I think it's a money grab. I think a park pass is just fine on people's rigs. 105 for a year-long fishing license. Yeah. I mean,
a lot.
One or the other, right? I mean,
yeah, right.
One or the other. $60 park pass, I think, is. I agree with you 100%. I think it's out of hand. I don't know why they push that through, but I don't agree with the $60 park pass for a non-resident. And then Pitlick says free Twin Bays. Yeah, I mean, Twin Bays is free. The core bay you're talking about, Pitter. That's a core controlled dock. That's their dock. They put it in and out. They do everything with it. Where Cedar Shore is Game Fishing Parks and Cedar Shore, conglomerate to run that dock system, right? Everybody can pick a state dock compared to a core dock, right?
No doubt.
Rocket scientists to know the metal ones are the core docks and the nice wood ones are the state docks. So, and I'm not saying, maybe I don't know all the details. I probably shouldn't open my mouth about no park pass down there, but I just found that detail out and I found it very interesting that was actually a thing.
Why not bring it up?
A couple people and they're like, no, it's no park pass. Like, I'm like, that's insane to me. But I agree with you, Uncle Lou. That $60 park pass, I think, is crazy. Unfortunately, it's not just South Dakota. You had Nebraska getting out of hand too. Yeah, I mean, and there's a saying, like, we keep it cheap for the residents and charge the non-residents. But you're right. When the non-residents stop coming because you nickel and dime them on fees, and you do this stuff. Yeah, I mean, I get it. You come here for a reason because fishing's great, but where's that extra park pass money go? Show us what you're doing with it, other than what you're doing normally. And I know inflation and costs go up on everything we do, right? I mean, gas prices, wages, everything costs more to operate every year. But like I said, I'm not it for the $60 park pass. I mean, I'll leave that where that's at. But, I think there's going back to the topic, I don't think there's anything that needs to be done. I mean, they opened the dredge hole. The dredge hole's now open in Chamberlain, has been open for years. And they came out and said it was a social law. There's been a couple laws on Francis Case that has been changed. It's been changed over the last couple of years. That state, one is the dredge hole being opened. That's now open to fish. That has been closed for years. And they said it was a social law. It was a social law when they put it in. People didn't want people fishing that deep hole in Chamberlain. And they're saying there's no scientific fact why we can't fish it.
What's going to end up happening?
What's stopping you from going downriver and fishing 50 foot and, down there? It doesn't. And the other one that got changed was down by Platte Winter a few years ago. The Platte Winter Bridge, was down that area. The rule for ice fishing was the first 4 fish through the ice you had to keep. Didn't matter their size. The first 4 fish you catch, you have to keep through the ice. If the ice goes out, which we know this doesn't happen down there, but let's just say you ice fish on Tuesday, the ice goes out, you boat fish on Thursday, it's back to standard limits. It's back to, the 1/20 and, the rest over 15. So they put a social law in because it's deep water fishing down there through the ice. And they put a social law in saying you got to keep the first 4 you catch. So if you knew where the big fish were, you could go catch 4 overs. You go catch 4 overs down there. So Uncle Lou forgot to tell us good evening.
How you do?
We got him spun up right away. We haven't cost him any money lately, though. I'm kind of upset by that.
No, maybe we will this weekend.
Jared said if they start cleaning boat ramps in South Dakota and maintain the lakes in the winter, I'm all in for it. The $60. You can't raise the state, $6. You can even raise the park pass up. If you're seeing more work and we can physically see it, I kind of agree with you. Right. I mean, but if we're not seeing anything different, I don't get it. Like I agree with Uncle Lou. Eventually we're going to drive him out of here.
It could be. And maybe some people like that idea. Maybe that's what they want. And here's the deal. If that happens for a year or two, then I guess we get to see what fishing South Dakota is actually like without a ton of non-residents coming into the state. And we'll probably find out that it really didn't matter anyway.
Well,
right?
And at the end of the day, I agree with that kind of statement. But the other thing you got to think about too is we drive that down, and again, stuff goes up, costs go up, all that thing. So what? Then all of a sudden we lose non-residents. What's our resident licenses go?
Yeah, right. Something's got to replace the lost revenue. So yes, I agree with that.
Russ Hansen just thinking it shows on Onyx. I believe it's all private. It's all Corps land. It's all Corps of Engineers.
Yeah, the entire shoreline all the way up and down it, right? For how many feet?
It's a take line. I don't know the exact footage. It's a take line. So I don't know what it is. I think some areas kind of vary, depending on water level, stuff like that. They staked a part that would never flood or something and said, this is a take line for the Corps. I don't know that stuff. I'm just kind of thinking that's what it is. But let's see here. Do you think $60 non-park residents or park pass is high or low? I think it's high. I mean, I personally think it's high. I mean, that's my opinion. I don't know why we had to, do that, but So
it doesn't bother me because we're paying 40 now, so 20 more for a non-resident. Not that big a deal, but I get it.
Yep. It's adding everything up, right? Felby says fresh batch of apple pie loaded and ready for chamber on C's weekend. Can't wait, Fel.
Right.
Bring us some apple pie.
Let's talk about that dredge hole a little bit. So everybody's so hot on fishing the dredge hole. So now you can fish it. The deal there with it being protected, it becomes a deep water sanctuary for all kinds of fish. They know they're not gonna be bothered there. There's no pressure there, so they hang out there. Well, now all of a sudden it becomes a pressured hole. And they're gone. They're somewhere else. So, I mean, whatever. And eventually, they won't be fishing the dredge hole because the fish won't be there in the numbers that they have been in the past. It will change that, but those fish are just going to be somewhere else.
Yeah. And Russ says, the high water mark, like below the dam, Mac lives, one of the lots. I agree. I don't know what it was, right? I know, like, we're working on a project with Downs Marina. The Corps owns the land at Downs Marina.
Mm-hmm.
The Corps owns it. It's leased to the city, and then in return, leased to Downs Marina. So, yeah, we have, to get the project done, we have to go through Downs Marina, the city, and Game Fish and Parks, and then the Corps of Engineers. We have to get the 3 approvals before we go to the Corps of Engineers. So, don't you think that you would miss out on the tourism money? I mean, it just was a new thing last year that it went to $60. It was never $60 before last year. So I don't know. I've not dug deep into the ruling behind it or anything like that, or why they did it. I think at some point, like Uncle Lou said, there's a point of a money grab. That's my personal opinion. You guys can, go whatever road you want. I mean, I know guys that would want to tell you $10,000 to come fish in South Dakota because we got the fish and you don't, right? I mean, there's all kinds of theories behind it, but I know South Dakota is driven agriculture and tourism, right? Mm-hmm. Kevin said, us non-residents help the economic in these small towns, gas, food, lodging. We come we quit coming to some places. It could go on. 100% agree.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree. We were having this conversation when I found out about the new proposed bill for shutting that season down. When I was growing up, these people, hunting season, man. And we talked about this during hunting season, opening weekend of pheasant season, you saw vehicles lined up on Main Street in every little town, right? Mm-hmm. The bars were packed, the restaurants were packed, gas stations were thumping. I mean, it was huge revenue driver for South Dakota. Now, over the years, lodges have taken the main game. There's still guys in town, but not like when I was a kid. I mean, when I was a kid, 20 plus years ago, Main Street was packed. You could tell when opening pheasant season came because everybody was stacked down Main Street. So now you shut down Chamberlain in the spring. What does that do? Or change it to 2. So guys like, I'm not driving there for 2 walleyes, right. Or maybe they still do. They're just like, whatever. I don't know if it, I can about imagine hypothetically thinking that it would slow the number down at the boat ramp. But I don't know if it does. Nobody knows. Right? Oh, Mark, we got candy. So
I don't know what it does. I really don't. It's again, it happens. It happens. It doesn't. It doesn't. But I think there's a ton of revenue that gets lost, and that's unfortunate. The big thing is we've got so many people that have answers, but they're not the right answers, and unfortunately, I don't think we get the right answer. I don't think we're ever going to get the right answer for the right thing to do. We obviously tourism is high on the state's priority and every state's priority. Look at McConaughey right now. Do you see the 2 pigs that came out of McConaughey in the last, I think, day and a half? McConaughey hasn't even been a conversation for years, right? Because you used to go to Mac to catch big walleye. If you wanted a 30-incher, you went to McConaughey. Well, nobody talks about that anymore. Now, all of a sudden, you've got some pigs coming out of McConaughey, and that's good for them. That now they're going to get some tourism back, and things have been like a ghost town around Mac, right? I mean, we went by there, north of there anyway, and things are just not like they used to be. So the sad thing is you can bring petitions, you can bring all this stuff, and we just don't get the right answer. Somebody's always pissed because it's not the right answer, and that's why at this point now, I can't have an opinion on the logic of a system and what's right and what's wrong, because it's a guess, and I don't know who's a good guesser. I'm not. I did not win the NCAA bracket challenge. I can tell you that right now. And look at my bass fishing right now, my fantasy fishing. That ain't going so well either. I'm a bad guesser. So
yes, Felby, it's $60 for the
non-resident. Yeah, if it were 60 for residents, I'd be pissed.
Yeah,
because I didn't want to go from 32 or 36 to 40. I was a little bummed out about it, but I'm like, well, whatever. In the scope of an entire year, another $4 or $5, whatever. Who cares?
Yeah.
Pay it. I've got a place to fish.
But I mean, you get to boat ramps. Another big topic and something that I've been looking at doing and asked to help with is, if you look at the Lake Oahe system. After you get north of Spring Creek, till you get to Whitlocks, the roads to the ramps suck.
Bad.
They are horrible. Absolutely terrible. So if you're up $60, let's fix them roads. And I know it's a county issue and it's a state issue and it's this and that, but we need to do something about it. It was, brought to my attention. A very good bring to my attention was, if you got West River guys coming from Rapid City, mini conju is the only thing, and you've got treacherous 14 miles of gumbo gravel.
Yeah, that's the hard part right there. After you get off the oil road, you get off the asphalt, and then you got the long drive. I don't care if it's bush, even Sutton Bay. Sometimes if you get a rain, if you get whatever, it just sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I think you hit the nail on the head on that one.
And I don't know how that works, and I don't know how the process works, but if we're upping our park passes and we got more money coming in, let's fix these roads going in. Let's get on the counties to say, hey, we'll co-op share this with you, whatever we got to do, and I don't, like I said, I'm just speaking hypothetically because I have no idea what the process is to fix the road to Bushes.
Right.
I know the Bushes Road, the Little Bend Road, the Mini Conjure Road, the Sutton Bay Road, all need to be fixed.
Yeah, I agree with you. They all do.
And I get it. The guy brought to my attention is like, okay, so you can't pave some of it, right? Like Little Bend. You've ever gone to Little Bend? There's a certain point that you cannot pave it, right? It's just the road's not going to hold up. How about we crushed asphalt it?
Yeah, or crushed concrete, one of the two.
Down on it. I mean, the guy brought to my attention when they did Mini Conju, he's like, they tore the whole road up, all the asphalt. Why didn't they take that crushed asphalt that they pulled off that road and just take it the next 16 miles that they tore it off the road of? Save money in trucking.
Mm-hmm.
Grind it right there and start dumping it and spreading it out.
Yeah, honestly, they really could do a little something to Bob's too. You get a little bit of rain and you got slippery, muddy crap there. And if I guess if we're going to bitch about it, let's start making a list, right?
Yeah. We got a couple more comments here. So Felby says, probably not a popular opinion, but ain't most people traveling this far to fish rolling down the highway with the average of 150,000? And agreed. Felby, I agree, but I also agree that we need to put money back into stuff. And if you keep upping our fees, we need to see it. Show it, right? Make South Dakota I hate this can be an unpopular statement, but make people when they come to the South Dakota boat ramp go, oh, these guys got it going on.
Yeah, there you go. Shouldn't that be the thought anyway, right? Iowa must be doing it right without park passes. The majority of boat ramps are great, even on small lakes. Now that I don't know. Okoboji, about the only thing I know. Counties do not benefit from sales tax dollars, only property tax and some wheel tax from license plate sales. Yeah, right. I mean, counties, townships, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a $1 million question, but at some point, your property taxes. Josh here, good comment. If you figure $120 a ton for asphalt, it's approximately $500,000 a mile.
Wow.
And that I see in these numbers we don't know, right?
Thank you.
If you have a highway project like going to Mini Conju that you repaved and you tore the old stuff off.
Mm-hmm.
Why truck it back down? Why can't you throw it the next 16 miles?
Yeah. Spot on. Yeah.
And I don't know how it all works. I'm speaking completely hypothetical. And I mean, people can tear me up for these comments and please do. I mean, please correct me. I only know what I know and I'm love to learn. So, there's got to be federal and grants and stuff like that and taxpayer dollars and county dollars that go into these things to pave roads, right?
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, there's got to be stuff that we can do to pave these roads. At one time, Little Bend was paved. At one time, Bushes was paved. Sutton's was paved most of the way. Like, come on, why'd we tear it up?
Let it go. Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't know.
Cost,
I would guess.
Are you going to let Highway 83 or County Road 15 go to shit and just gravel it? No, you're going to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin says it's $260 for me and my wife to come up there and fish before lodging. Highest state we fish in, the boat ramps were very nice.
Okay.
Oh, we got some comments coming in.
Oh, this is what I like. More comments. I see the number changing there.
So definitely in favor of improving boat ramps. They all need solar lights. Yeah, 100%.
I go with that.
Yeah, more than
you know what? Let's add another one in. You want to get some revenue for the state? Put a fine on shitting up the state-owned Biffy. You know, I mean, I'm like, come on, guys. Seriously, you know, when you sit down, aim the thing straight down. You don't have to blow the whole back of the toilet out. I mean, seriously, put a $500 fine on if you get caught crapping up the Biffy. It's just horrible. That's one thing that I cannot stand about that. But that's just dirty, rude people. All right, now what does Trevor say here?
How did Swan Creek get paid back today? Yeah, I mean, these are all valid questions, right? And we need to look into this stuff and figure out a way to get these things, you know, done. I mean, is it people that got talked and started, you know, the squeaky wheel gets the grease type deal? Probably. You know, I mean, I got to go back up. I want to kick Trevor's in there. Go ahead, and I'm going to take a drink here.
All right. Let's see. I'll say as an out-of-stater, I've been impressed with the quality of the ramps and fish cleaning stations everywhere. Most places don't have those facilities. Yeah, there are a lot of places that don't. We do have some very nice cleaning stations.
And I will say a lot of the ramps are great, right? Yeah, I'm not saying the ramps aren't great. It's the access getting to the ramps
that is poor.
Horrendous. You know, if they're good, they're good. If they're not, they generally are horrendous. Gene says the most fair tax is the one someone else pays 100%.
Bingo.
Let's see here. But the dirt roads are a pain, 100%.
Yep. I agree.
This one.
First trip ever to Fort Peck, we learned that Hell Creek and Rock Creek marinas had pull trucks to get people in because of the gumbo roads. Yeah. Let's see. I'd not complain a bit about the $60 if we were actually seeing improvements done, but yes and no difference around here. Heck, don't even wash the old zebra mussels off docks they pull out. Oh, yeah, there you go. And have a big rear end. Okay, haha. No, I'm just saying, you know, be courteous. For God's sake, everybody's got to use the toilet, but there's always somebody that shits the thing up and it makes it gross. All right, Ethan, get me in the Gov Cup like I've been asking, and I'll come pick up and a shovel and start paving and packing with 60-pound bags. Hey, bring on the sackcrete, man. Swan Creek, the state highway. Yeah, that I guess that's
the state highway all the way to the boat ramp.
Well, not all the way to the boat ramp.
Casca, and then after Casca, it used to be gravel back in the day when I was a kid. We traveled that gravel a lot.
Get me in the Gov Cup that one again.
Yeah, he corrected his Gov Cup spelling. So I mean, we traveled that road a lot. So I don't know. I mean, I'm just asking for the sake of a conversation. I can tell you that, you know, like I said, Little Bend was paved at one point. Bushes was paved at one point. You know, like I see, I got the question, why isn't it done? Like, why can't we fix these? I remember when Little Bend went to shit. And, Ethan said he fixed his comment. I promise I'm not texting and driving.
I mean, that's good.
Little Ben went to shit, and instead of fixing the potholes and fixing the road, they threw gravel on top of, and so did Bushes. They threw gravel on top of the pavement. You can imagine how well that worked.
Yeah, that does not work at all.
It was terrible. It made it worse. And then they finally ground it up, and it's been crap ever since. Trevor's got a big question here. Go ahead and read that one.
Okay, so Whitlock is paved all the way in. We're blessed that there are great roads and ramps, docks on or for Upper Oahe, and there are great roads and access for far lower end. But from Whitlock to Spring Cow, there is not good access, and access to the Cheyenne is very difficult. That's a big gap in the lake with Sutton's, Bushes, Little Bend, Minneconjou are all tough access roads. Yeah, I agree with that. As a newbie in 2015, started fishing at late 90s, but we were always in the Whitlock area. But as a newbie, I'm like, what the heck is going on down here? Casca is pasture. County commissioners didn't have to worry about heavy trucks and the road, which makes a ton of sense. They were 300 bushel single axle trucks, and now all of a sudden we got big semis. Anyway, heavy trucks. The road to Little Bend in the 70s and 80s was all pasture. A lot of blacktop wouldn't handle heavy trucks, so you'd end up rebuilding the road and getting a base there, a road bed. And I suppose what happened is they just decided they weren't going to pay for it anymore. Paved or oiled, chipped over the years, right?
Yeah. I mean, I get it. There's a lot of cost that goes into this, but at some point, if, you up our boat ramp fee access, and because we see an improvement, right? Like, take me from $40 to $60, but I can drive on asphalt everywhere I go.
I don't think anybody would complain about that. Right. Yeah. The only problem with that is how many park passes do we sell in a year? Times an extra $20, let's say. Does it make a difference? Will it fix roads?
I don't know, but
I don't either. That's
Sam dollars, and I know it's county and state and city, and there's a lot of moving parts, but the point is something needs to be done. Something needs to be done.
If you want the tourism, because you can't just say, well, you're damn lucky there's a road to get there. What if we didn't have a road to get there?
Yeah. Whatever. So the county can no longer keep patching the roads due to funding. So how do you keep that funding coming in? Because it's a busy road, right? That's what I'm saying. Do you co-op some dollars with game fish and parks? Do you think outside the box? It's just like they're forgot about, right? And living at Spring Creek, we see the influx with the boats that can run now. We see the influx at the Spring Creek boat ramp, and you probably see it at the Whitlock's boat ramp because they're the nicest boat ramps to pull your $100,000 boat to get to those bodies of water and people run. So selfishly, I'm 100% to take some pressure off the southern end ramps. And when I go fishing, I would much rather drive in the car to Little Bend and put in than run from Spring Creek unless it's an absolute gorgeous day.
Yeah, I agree.
The hint, though,
as much as sportsmen pump into South Dakota economy, you'd think that some of these accesses would be a little better taken care of for us.
Yeah.
I get there's a two-way street. I'm going to throw that back on. We have a people problem. People are just, they're just damn rude. And when you've got a wet, muddy road and access and you're speeding through it and it's just people don't use their heads, and it's unfortunate, but I'm sure that plays into, well, we fix the roads and then some dipstick comes in and just tears it all up.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. But here's one for you I took down while you were talking.
No, okay. On a lighter side, who's going to identify the bathroom blower upper? No, not me. Trust me, I thought about that. I'm like, well, we could put a 360 camera in there, but you can't do that. So
make them
make them use toll roads. You know what? Carrie, that's probably the smartest damn thing we heard tonight.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, this is it's not going to get fixed here. I don't have the answers, but we got to start the conversation somewhere. Yes. And I think it's a problem. Little Bush's Landing Road was completely out of use a couple years ago.
Right. And
it was moving hell and earth to get that road fixed. And it wasn't sorry, I'm trying to cut dog and read comments that come in at the same time. But, you got people that, that stepped up and fixed that road, and because they were just like, well, it's done. We're not doing anything with it. Well, geez. Here's a comment.
Oh, wow. What a pain in the ass. Oh, man. Send screenshots. Oh God. Okay, wait a minute. Now here we go. Feel as a compromise, they could at least mag water the gravel. You know what? I agree with that. But you're right. That's still like 5,000 a mile, so it would keep the dust down. There's no doubt about that. And like Kurt said, I guess we got to bring it up. But how do you bring it to the next level? Do you start a petition then? I mean, what do you do?
Yeah, I mean, it's just something we got to talk about. Is there? Oh, you got to read this one. Is there grant funding out there that we're not applying for, or we're putting it in the road that we pave every 3 years? You know, I mean, what are we doing, right? Is it the county level? Is it the state level? Is it the federal level? Or is it a combination of all three? Where do you get the conversation started? It's like-minded people talking about things, you know, stuff like that. So it says, do you guys feel the ramp downstream little Joe
West Bend
are lacking access? Are you talking like Sharp? Is that your question there? You know, like, yeah, I'm yes and no. I mean, there's not much from Pier to West Bend area. I mean, you got Fort George. It's good enough. I mean, I don't think you're not driving down 8 miles of gravel.
Right.
So, I mean, you can figure it out. You know, I think there's, you know, like I said, there's access into the water and there's access getting to the access. And I'm more concerned right now about the access getting to the access. You can read this next one.
Oh my, I wonder how South Dakota, being a federal tax and no state tax, I wonder if that's a contribution. The GF&P fixes things, is a dock or stocking here or there, and they brag about online, but the math don't math. Might have to start making longer calls to government, etc. Minnesota has 10,000 plus lakes, like 11,000 now or something like that, and they've all got docks and fishing piers, etc. And they've got very nice fishing piers too, right? A lot of them. If not paved roads, then why not good oil stuff they use in Minnesota? Oh, wait a minute, in Minnesota, right? I think that's how I was supposed to say that. You know, treat the roads. Then I can't agree. I can't disagree with you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, something's better than nothing, right?
You know, Joe Creek and West Bend. West Bend is great, paved all the way into West Bend. Joe Creek, you drive a lot of gravel.
Yeah, and I hate that.
A lot of gravel.
You know, I even hate taking my boat onto Bob's ramp off the highway, off of 212 on a muddy weekend, a rainy weekend, because everything just gets crappy. And think about that. That's a quarter of a mile. I mean, it's not maybe not even that.
I mean,
you know, and I hate it.
You know, like I can handle, you know, I'm not even upset by that. And I know like Little Bend, right? Like you could only pave Little Bend so far out and then mag water it, right? But it used to be paved to a certain point. Let's pave it to that point.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, let's pave it to that point and we'll get there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but you know, when you're driving, I mean, if I got to drive 3 miles of gravel compared to 16,
pick me. I'm doing that. I'll do that. Yeah. Right.
That's the thing. I'm not saying it's got to be, you know, an interstate all the way to every boat ramp. But when we're driving 16 plus miles of gravel to get to a boat ramp is absolutely insane to me.
Yeah. And there are many places where Dodge Draw. I mean, you just keep the list goes on and on and on, right?
Yeah, I'm not saying everyone has to be done, right?
No.
But when you go from, I mean, I would love to know, I don't know the exact mileage, but you go from Spring Creek to Whitlocks. What is that, 60 miles of river?
No, maybe not quite.
Okay, 50, 40.
50 to 60, let's say, just for, yeah.
I mean, it's a 30-minute drive from my place to your place on the highway. Okay, I cannot put in on any other paved ramps until I go from my house to you. There's not a paved road to get to a ramp until I get to you at Whitlocks.
Right. Everything is gravelled, and they're all long drives.
And they're not. Nothing's a mile. Nothing's whatever. So, you know.
Oh my. Get the roads paved and gets the serial shitter, and we all have a better South Dakota. Amen. It's all about having a better experience. I mean, tune in next week when we teach you how to shit straight down instead of a 45-degree angle back.
River, according to the Hummingbird, 63 miles.
Okay.
So 63 miles of river is unaccessible from a paved road. And like I said, I'm not talking every one.
Right. But it's a lot of river.
Dusty says paved roads that support heavy agriculture traffic are expensive. I 100% agree. 100% agree. But
especially today,
that's why I'm not saying we don't have to do every one. Like, I mean, if we could get Little Bend, or if we could get Bushes, or you know what I mean? Like, come on,
Right.
Shane's a very valid point. $22 million spent on a shooting range that most of us can't use wouldn't have gone anyways. Wouldn't got a long ways for the Little Bend Road. Bingo, right? I mean, bingo. How much money? How much is a county thing and not a GFP thing? Agreed. I don't know, John. I mean, most of it's probably county and not GFP. I 100% agree. Most of it's probably county and not GFP. But, if it's taking time, we've got enough people. I mean, there's obviously people passionate about this stuff. There's got to be a federal grant out there. Push the issue and get a federal grant to help pay for some of it. Probably won't pay for it all. But we can put, all kinds of stuff in with the federal grants, and who knows, maybe there's a grant out there that can be used. Maybe not. Maybe we can't do it tomorrow. Maybe we can't do it next year. But if we're watching every year and it can be a down the road thing, let's get it done.
It'd have to be a very, very big grant. How about townships? Do we have townships in these counties out here in these desolate kind of, because back home we've got townships. So I'm guessing that some of these roads to the ramps are township roads and not even county roads.
Yeah.
And the townships aren't. And that's probably where a lot of it falls through the cracks, because there isn't a township out here that's got the population of the business and the revenue coming in to handle that. So it's,
it's like I said, it's very expensive. It's you got to figure out how to pay for it. But I'm not, like I said, I think there's ways to do it. I think there's, you might got to get creative. You might have to have some social funding. Who knows what you got to do, but I think there's ways to do stuff.
I just thought of something. South Whitlock has the cleanest boat ramp. Not 1 ounce of gravel. It is asphalt all the way down to the water.
Yeah, so is West Whitlock's.
So, yeah, that's right. So think about it. Here's the deal. When all the other ramps are busy, head on over to South Whitlock and enjoy that one. Just remember to use your parking brake and hope like hell it doesn't give.
Yeah,
you pick up it, everything's gone. That thing's steep.
Yes, it's paved all the way. The ramp itself is not very nice there.
When I backed down the first time with the boat and my Tahoe, and I put the emergency brake on, and it slid 4 feet. I looked at Dad. I'm like, screw this. We're out of here. It's very steep. And so I would like it if they'd spend a couple of million to just kind of flatten that out a little bit, but that'll never happen. So,
and I don't know what that one is. I don't know if that's a core ramp. I don't know if that's a Game Fish and Parks ramp. I mean, it'd be nice that, we kind of know what GFP ramps are. Like I said, I can pick up my boat docks. A lot of times you can find out, all these different things. So,
right. I'm guessing it's Randy ramp, but there's state signs down there. So the GFMP's got to have a little something into it.
Casey asked why we ain't able to use the gun range. We can. It's Western South Dakota. And, it's not saying we won't. It's not, $22 million on a Rapid City thing. You live in Watertown. Right. How often are you going to use it?
Long drive.
So here you go. Ethan's got another one.
Oh boy, I would say a huge majority of hunting and fishing tourism is focused around the Missouri River. Yeah, I would say, but maybe it's good to keep a balance of good outdoors and shitty roads.
Yeah, like I said,
Yeah,
Trapper's in again.
that's how I was slipped 4 feet. Need the crapper anymore. No, I sure as heck didn't. But I needed a wash machine in a quick hurry.
Yeah. Well, guys, sorry we might have spun up a hornet's nest. We appreciate everybody watching, and we'll be you guys get to see us again this weekend starting Friday. Make sure you follow along all weekend with the fishing crew down in Chamberlain. And if you're still interested, Trapper, you can still sign up and come see us and hang out with us for the weekend in Chamberlain.
No doubt. No blow days for us.
Yeah, well, we've had one ever.
One ever, but it ain't going to happen this weekend. Good luck to those in the National Walleye Tour. Let's hope let's hope they take off at 7 a.m. tomorrow. I hope they do.
I'm waiting for it.
All right, very good. Between Hook Sets out.